The following program is rated low, and staff improvement is advised.
Listen, how do you cook a cat?
Hey.
No, I can't talk about cats because I've got some friends that like kitties and stuff and I want to
Jamie and Jayson, I am sorry. Jamie and Jamie, his daughter.
You just won't forget Jamie, the daughter, because she's got your cat now.
Well, she better not. She's not getting my kitty cat. Now, I was going to ask, after you finish with Jayson, sorry, Jayson, after you finish saying what you want to say, I'd like to know all about his career.
Yeah, well, I was just going to ask Jayson, you said your mates put together, threw the hat around and sent you off to Sydney. Now, I believe you went to Sydney, but your bags went to Dubbo.
Mate, now there's a story. How did you hear about that story?
Never mind. We got our ways and means of finding these things out.
Yeah, mate.
Now, Jetstar wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, are we allowed to mention? No, absolutely not. We're not allowed to mention how much they upset me, but anyway. Yeah, mate, you got to imagine I left Cairns, right, and it's winter time, but you know what Cairns is like in winter time.
There's stubbies and tongs.
Yeah, it was a freezing cold 27 degrees in Cairns, so yeah, I had me double pluggers on and a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and so I got all my baggage and stuff because I'm down there for the best part of a month. And I hit Sydney and got off the plane, and there's a westerly blowing that blow a dog off a chain and just froze my ass off and walked into the terminal, and I'm sort of standing there and everyone's collecting their baggage, and I'm saying, it'll be here any second, but sure enough everyone gradually left, and by the time the carousel had finished there's nothing left, and so I went and saw old mate over at the baggage counter, and he sort of scratched his head, and it was funny because at that point he said to me, I think I might have gone to Dubbo. And I said, well, that's handy because I'm in Sydney, so,
they're close. They're close.
I said, I know I'm tall, but man, I'm not. But, so anyway, it was 3 days later, so I spent the first 3 days in Sydney wearing all the producers' clothes because I had nothing. And but the other interesting story about that is that there's another young fella from not far from the cattle station I used to manage, a place called Mount Surprise. And he was in the top 20 or something of Australian Idol last year.
Okay.
And I know, because I've been playing in backing bands at Charters Towers Festival up there for years, so I've seen all these kids come and go, and I'd played for this kid a few times, and he's a nice lad, really good bloke, and I knew that I'd seen him on telly doing the Australian Idol thing, and it was really bizarre because here's me, been playing the Northern Circuit for, best part of 15 years, and well and truly done my apprenticeship, and I lob at Sydney Airport wearing pluggers and shorts, and this young fella's come down on the same plane as me, and he gets picked up by Australian Idol chauffeurs and all the la-di-da, and he gets chauffeured, and I'm standing at the carousel in my pluggers waiting for my baggage that's not showing up after all my 15 years of playing, and here's this young bloke who's been playing for about 10 minutes getting walked out the door given the star treatment, and I'm thinking, well, that's poetic,
Just not fair.
It was all very
just
interesting.
Not fair.
The filming of the film clip, I believe you had a bit of fun up there on your mate's property, and I believe he was also the chopper pilot.
Yeah, I used to work for that's also one of the blokes that was one of the funding benefactors, and yeah, we when we were making because Rain of Mercy was the first single off the album, and of course it's a song about drought, and so I was always going to film the clip on that property, because it's a beautiful part of the world. But the ironic part was that here I am filming a song about drought, and these guys had just been through the wettest season that they'd had in years, and the place was looking beautiful, so that wasn't real good for us. But with some clever editorial work from the director made things work out well. But yeah, we borrowed his chopper and we got some good shots. Actually, it's another story. Is the guy that did the clip? He's a pretty big fella. He's Ross Wood, fantastic bloke. But he's the first to tell you he's a pretty big sort of a lad, and we had to actually modify the seatbelt to get him in the chopper, because it's only a little two-seater Robinson. And when we started filming the clip, because I'm on the ground with the iPod in my ears so I can mime the song, while they're filming it. And so before they took off in the chopper, Ross said, okay, we're going to run the song 3 times, and then, you know, give us a signal or something, and we'll land, and we should have enough footage. So anyway, I get halfway through the second time through the song, you know, and next thing the choppers just come down, landed right in front of me, and I'm thinking, what, they must have enough footage, it must be right or whatever. Anyway, they just took off again, and so, oh, well, I started singing again, and it wasn't until later that James, the bloke flying the chopper, come over and he said, when Lee come to grief there, he reckoned he just ran out of air because old Ross was just a bit too big for him.
Oh, isn't that terrible? Poor thing, he must be big.
Yeah, he's a big boy, but, you know, he's helped.
So he worked the land and he lived his life, put his trust in his loving wife, believed in her and he prayed for rain, but the very next day his sun was shining again.
Now, Jayson, from Melinda, you're down there in Sydney, so what happens then? You know, is this the start of everything?
Well, we'd actually, just to give you a bit of background, we'd recorded an album about 10 years ago. And it was done on a really low budget because, you know, I was just a busted ass ringer and didn't have a lot of funds behind me. So it was done in a bloke's garage, basically. So, and I was really unhappy with the outcome. You know, I thought it sounded ordinary. And as a result, I put it under the bed. I had 50 boxes of albums under the bed, you know, because I just wasn't happy with it. So I vowed and declared that I wouldn't do it again until I could do it properly. So, you know, that was the point that we'd reached, and that's why, so we flew to Sydney and had a meeting with Matt Fell, who produced the album, and my wife and I flew down and just loved what he'd done. We sort of listened to some of his stuff, and he was a really nice guy, and I felt really comfortable around him, so that's why we made the decision to go with Ross. Plus, he's got some really good credits behind his name now. He's really got the runs on the board so far as producing some quality work. So, yeah, I ended up there, and I mean, I was a bit out of my element for a while, you know, because it's Leichhardt in the middle of Sydney. So I came off a 40,000 acre cattle property.
Oh, I don't know how you did it.
To King's Cross.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
She was an eye opener, don't worry. But yeah, I adjusted. I really enjoyed the process. So it took us about 3 weeks to record the album. And then all the post-production stuff, it's like pulling teeth, you know. I mean, you've got to go through all the digital artwork and all that sort of stuff, and it just seemed to take forever. But about November we ended up with a finished product in our hands, and we sort of, you know, just started trying to get as many people to listen to it as we could, because I mean, it's a great album, I'm really proud of it. So the trick for us is just to get the right people to hear it, you know.
That's right.
So that's pretty much. So yeah, in December I quit my job, we left the station and moved to Brisbane.